Joey Harrington, Fox Sports college football analyst. He'll be calling Baylor and Oklahoma on Fox Sports 1 coming up this Saturday. The former quarterback at Oregon, he joins us now. Joey, good to have you back on. Your reaction to last night's rankings?
I think they're pretty much spot on, with the exception of maybe one or two, in my opinion. I mean, I don't think you can argue with the top four. And if you do argue with it, I'd like to see what that argument is.
Yeah, I'm okay with the top four, but I'm also looking at the teams 5 through 9 because that's where it's going to get sneaky here.
And that's actually where my issue is. My issue is with Alabama at 5. I don't think they should be above Kansas State and TCU, and here's why.
Okay.
Alabama's quality win right now, and we're talking about right now, at this very moment, because obviously everything is going to change. At this very moment, Alabama has beat West Virginia. At this very moment, Kansas State has beat Oklahoma. At this very moment, TCU has beat both Oklahoma and West Virginia. And all of their losses are somewhat comparable. You know, Baylor, Ole Miss, Kansas State lost to Auburn. So by that reasoning right there, TCU is ahead of all of them. TCU has the better resume than Alabama and Kansas State. I think that Kansas State's loss to Auburn is better than Alabama's loss to Ole Miss. Therefore, I think that Kansas State should be above Alabama. Now, we're talking about the difference between 5, 6, 7, 8. At this point, who really cares? But I think it really kind of gets to the bigger issue of I've heard too many people say, well, I just know that Alabama is the best team in the country.
Yep.
Or I just know that Alabama is the best team in the SEC. That's not right. That's not what we're ranking on. We're not ranking on Nick Saban's ability to have his football team ready to play in the SEC championship game. That's not the point here. The point is right now, at this moment, not what the SEC has done in the past, not anything that's going on in the future. At this moment right now, Alabama is not the 5th best team in the country.
Well, I think when all else fails, go SEC. And I think that's a dangerous path to go down. Look, nobody's going to deny, the SEC and where it ranks. But I think Alabama gets the benefit of the doubt because it's Alabama and it's Nick Saban. I think you have to go out of your way to watch TCU. You have to go out of your way to watch Kansas State. And, let's face it, viewers, fans, they can be lazy too. And I'll watch the highlights. But you'll be able to see an entire game of Alabama if you want to. And it's easier to find. So
but Dan, that's the job of the committee. I mean, that's the whole reason this committee was put together is for them to watch. Their job is to watch these football games. And, I don't want to get too much into this. You said go SEC. There's been a big backlash against Baylor this year because of the soft schedule that they play, or let me say, quote unquote, the soft schedule that they play. In reality, which non-conference schedule is better? Western Carolina, Florida Atlantic, and Southern Miss, or Buffalo, Northwestern State, and SMU. Pretty comparable in my mind. A 1AA team and a mid-major and a small school. Well, those are the two non-conference schedules of Alabama and Baylor.
Yeah.
Now, Alabama got West Virginia in there, which goes to the fact that SEC does not play 9 conference games. They had to schedule somebody else. That's a whole other discussion we need to get into. But it just bothers me the way that people detract from everybody else without really looking into what is happening right now. At this moment, this week in college football, what is happening?
But I also don't agree that if you're undefeated, that makes you a great team. I still don't know if Florida State's a great team. And they're undefeated. And, Ole Miss lost 2 gut-wrenching games, and now they're out of it. And, Treadwell breaks his leg. They would have beaten Auburn in that game. It's almost as if, you look at the wins and losses, and that's where your rankings are. You're undefeated. There's 1 loss. So you got 2 losses, then you got to be down. So unlike this, where the NFL, you can get better at the end of the year and be rewarded. Here you can't. It's really hard. If you start to lose, then you're dead. You have no shot.
Well, I might disagree with most of that. Yeah, I agree that You can get better as the season goes on, but the sign of a great team, especially a sign of a great team in college football, are the teams that win the close ones. And, Florida State does not look like.
Are they a great team? Are they a great team?
Yeah, right now I think they are. I mean, they don't look like, but we're comparing them what they were last year. Last year they were dominant.
They were a great team last year. They're not a great team this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're an undefeated football team this year, and there's only 2 of those in college football. And so that makes them that in and of itself makes them a great football team. Because nobody else, with the exception of Mississippi State, can say that. And that, I'm telling you, it is so difficult to go week in and week out in the college football season and win. Because once you start to get to this point of the season, you see it every year. I mean, how many times have we seen Oklahoma State lose at the end of the year? How many times have we seen, Louisville nearly knocked off Florida State last week? Every year, the end of October, getting into November, the pressure starts to get a little bit more. Teams start to tighten up. Look, we're talking about 18, 19, 20-year-old kids dealing with the pressure of an entire nation watching you. And so I don't care if you win by 4 or you win by 40. You won the football game, and that tells me that you're a good football team.
So Marshall's a good football team.
Don't go there now.
All right. He's Joey Harrington yelling at me, former Oregon quarterback, Fox Sports analyst. Well, okay, the best team out of the top 4 is who? Right now, today.
Right now, Mississippi State. I agree with that.
No. Out of the top 4. Now, outside of the top 4.
Outside the top 4, TCU.
Not even a question.
I think you can make an argument, but my belief is it's TCU.
When this all plays out, it's in Auburn's hands. Because if Alabama wins out, Alabama's going to play for the national. Well, be in the Final Four, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who else do you look at and you say they're in a great? Who on the outside of the top 4 is in a great position?
Kansas State and TCU. This is a huge game. This entire Big 12. Well, then you go to Baylor. All of those teams.
There's no buzz around Kansas State. There's no buzz whatsoever around Kansas State. None.
Kansas State plays TCU. Baylor plays Oklahoma. Oklahoma. God, let's not forget 3-4 weeks ago when everybody in the country was saying this is the greatest football team, and they may be ranked number 3, but they're the best team in the country. Now all of a sudden no one's talking about it.
Yeah, but we were saying that about Georgia. We were saying about Georgia last week, and they ended up getting embarrassed.
That's because you're drinking the SEC Kool-Aid.
Do you think there's an SEC bias?
I don't think there's an SEC bias. I think they get the benefit of the doubt, and it's
isn't that the same thing?
Look, I mean,
Joey,
there's no. I am not in any way. They're the best team in college, or the best conference in college football, hands down. No argument in that. What I think they get the benefit of the doubt of is that, look, there's 4 great teams in the SEC. There's 1 or 2 good teams. But what you have is tradition. You have, Tennessee, you have Florida, you have all these, Arkansas, LSU, all these perennial college football powers that when someone looks at the schedule and say, oh, they played Florida this week. Oh, that must have been a good win. Oh, they played Texas A&M this week. Boy, that was a great win. Well, it's not, because Florida's not a good team this year. South Carolina, by admission of their coach a couple of weeks ago, is not a good football team this year. Tennessee is not a good football team this year. I mean, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, where do you want to go through the conference? They have some class of the college football at the top of that conference, but the rest of the conference gets the benefit of the doubt.
Wait, you just made my point for me, Joey. I said when all else fails, vote SEC. You just made the point for me.
Oh, I agree with that point.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was saying. I don't think Alabama should be where they are right now. I think they get the benefit of the doubt. I think they should be 7 or 8 instead of 5.
Do you think we'll ever get to the point where we televise the committee?
Ooh.
Come on. You have to. It's made for TV. We love when you have judges on programs. Guys are going to be yelling and screaming and fighting.
So we can have like a video confessional.
Yes.
They go into the booth and talk to the camera.
Yes.
Pat Hayden is talking about Oliver Luck.
Yes, behind his back. Yeah, somebody saying something bad about Condoleezza Rice. What do you think?
Hey, it wouldn't surprise me. Let's start with just expanding it to 8 teams.
No, Joey,
thing before we go televise.
Can we go to 4 first and stay here for a little while?
Hey, you're talking about going to national TV on a televised.
But that's not changing the system here. The format is 4. This is just to let's televise it. I want to see what's inside behind the curtain. I think it'd be great here. I don't want to go to 8 yet. It took too long to get to 4. Let's enjoy 4. Because nobody wanted to go to 4.
Enjoying an imperfect system.
Nobody wanted to go to 4 in the first place, Joey. Coaches didn't.
College football fans wanted to go to 4.
Yes, the smart people did.
didn't want to leave the bowl system because of the money.
Yes. Now they realize how much money. Why are we yelling?
No, because we're on opposite sides of the country.
Is that what it is? Because you can't hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But you can hear me right if I just do that right there.
I can hear you.
Oh,
now.
you can? Okay, good. Can you hear me now? All right. Have fun with your game this weekend, as always.
I will.
Keep fighting the good fight.
You as well.
All right. Thank you, Joey.
You bet.
That's Joey Harrington, Fox Sports College football analyst.